In a bustling Ghanaian village, nestled between rolling green hills and the shimmering Volta River, lived a young woman named ABENA. She was known throughout the community for her radiant smile and a heart as warm as the midday sun. But her life was a tapestry woven with threads of hardship. After the sudden loss of her beloved parents, ABENA was left in the care of her aging grandmother, Nana Yah, a woman with a spirit as strong as she would, but with very little to her name. Together, they shared a small, humble mud brick house on the very edge of the village, its thatched roof showing the wear of many rainy seasons. ABENA and Nana Yah toiled from dawn until dusk, working on a small patch of land to grow cassava and plantain, just enough to keep hunger at bay. Despite the daily struggles, ABENA harbored a secret passion. She loved to dance. When the village drummers played their rhythms in the evenings, ABENA would feel the beat in her soul, her feet moving as if guided by an unseen force. She dreamed of the day she would dance at the annual Yam Festival. Her movements telling a story that would bring joy and inspiration to everyone watching. Nana Yah, seeing the light in her granddaughter's eyes, would clap her frail hands and cheer her on, her love a silent applause that fueled ABENA's spirit. Many times ABENA had tried to join the prestigious village dance troupe, but she was always turned away. Her worn-out clothes and lack of connections made her an outcast in their eyes. Life in the village was a constant trial for ABENA, who often became the focus of mockery from the other, more affluent young women. They would whisper and point at her faded kente wrap, her calloused hands, and the simple meals of kenki she ate. The chief tormentor was a girl named Akwo, the daughter of the wealthiest cocoa merchant in the district, and the leader of the dance troupe. Akua, with her expensive fabrics and entitled air, moved through the village with a coterie of friends, their laughter sharp and cruel as they preyed on those they considered beneath them. They found particular delight in making ABENA's life difficult, often demanding she run errands for them or mocking her aspirations. One sweltering afternoon, drawn by the irresistible sound of drumming, ABENA crept to the edge of the village square. She hid behind a large mango tree, her eyes wide as she watched Akua and the other girls practicing a new, intricate dance for the upcoming festival. She mimicked their steps in the shadows, her body flowing with a grace they could never quite master. Suddenly, she was discovered. "Look, it's the village beggar trying to steal our moves," Akua sneered, her voice dripping with contempt as she and her friends surrounded ABENA. The other girls erupted in a chorus of cruel laughter. "How can you dream of dancing with us when you can't even afford proper sandals?" one of them added, pointing at ABENA's bare feet. Humiliated, ABENA fled, their laughter echoing behind her like a painful drumbeat. Unbeknownst to the villagers, Prince Kofi, the handsome and kind-hearted son of the paramount chief, had returned from his studies abroad. He was a modern man with a deep respect for tradition, and he sought a partner who was not only beautiful, but also possessed a genuine and compassionate heart. His father, the chief, decided to host a grand durbar, a festival of culture and dance, to welcome him home and perhaps to help him find a suitable bride. The highlight of the durbar was to be a dance competition open to all the young women of the kingdom. The prize was not just honor, but a pair of exquisite handcrafted slippers, adorned with threads of pure gold and shimmering red beads, known as the red golden shoes. Legend had it that these shoes would only fit the feet of a woman with a pure and noble heart. News of the competition spread through the village like wildfire. Every young woman, especially Okwa and her friends, began preparing with feverish excitement. They spent fortunes on new fabrics, elaborate beads, and expensive stylists. Okwa was certain the shoes were destined for her. She practiced relentlessly, her movements technically perfect but lacking the soul and passion that true dance required. ABENA heard the news with a mix of excitement and sorrow. She yearned to participate, to show the world the dance that lived within her. But she had nothing to wear, no beautiful cloth or shining beads. She sat by the river, tears streaming down her face, her dreams feeling more distant than ever. As she wept, a gentle hand touched her shoulder. It was Nana Ja, her face etched with love and concern. "My child," she said softly, "a true dancer's spirit is her finest costume. Do not let your circumstances dim the fire within you." That evening, Nana Ja revealed a hidden treasure from an old wooden chest. She carefully unwrapped a beautiful, albeit old, Kente cloth. It was the one she had worn on her own wedding day, its colors still vibrant, woven with stories of their ancestors. "This is for you," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Wear it with pride, my granddaughter. Go and dance your heart out." Overwhelmed with gratitude, ABENA hugged her grandmother tightly. The cloth felt like a shield of love and courage. The day of the Durbar arrived. The village square was a kaleidoscope of color and sound. Chiefs and elders sat in state under large, colorful umbrellas, and the air was thick with the scent of festive foods and the thrumming of drums. Prince Kofi sat beside his father, his expression calm and observant as he watched the proceedings. One by one, the dancers performed. Akua, dressed in the most extravagant cloth, took the stage with an air of supreme confidence. She executed a flawless routine, her steps precise and her turns sharp. The crowd applauded politely, but her performance, for all its technical skill, felt cold and empty. It lacked the joy, the passion, the very soul of Ghanaian dance. Prince Kofi watched her, a thoughtful, almost disappointed look on his face. Finally, it was ABENA's turn. As she walked to the center of the square, a hush fell over the crowd. Murmurs and snickers rippled through the onlookers, especially from Okua's group. "Look at her in that old cloth," one whispered. "She is going to embarrass herself." But ABENA paid them no mind. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and let the rhythm of the Fontam From drums wash over her. When she began to dance, everything changed. Her body moved with a fluidity and grace that seemed otherworldly. Every step, Every turn, every gesture told a story of struggle, of hope, of love, and of unwavering spirit. She danced not for the prize or the prince, but for the sheer joy of it. Her movements were raw and emotional, a pure expression of her soul. The crowd was mesmerized, their mockery turning into awe. Nana Ya watched from the sidelines, tears of pride streaming down her wrinkled cheeks. Prince Kofi leaned forward, his eyes fixed on ABENA, a slow smile spreading across his face. He saw not a poor girl in an old cloth, but a queen in her element, her spirit shining brighter than any jewel. As her dance reached its crescendo, a powerful gust of wind swept through the square, and from the heavens, as if sent by the ancestors themselves, a single object fell, shimmering and sparkling as it descended. It landed softly on the ground right at ABENA's feet. It was one of the red golden shoes. A collective gasp went through the crowd. It was a perfect fit, glowing as if it had found its rightful owner. The chief's linguist, holding the other shoe, approached her. With trembling hands, ABENA slipped it on. It too fit perfectly. The chief stood and his voice boomed across the square. The ancestors have spoken. They have chosen a bride for our prince, a woman of pure heart and noble spirit. Akua watched in disbelief, her face a mask of fury and jealousy. She rushed forward, shouting, "It's a trick. She must have cheated. Let me try them on." She snatched one of the shoes and tried to force her foot into it, but it would not fit, no matter how hard she pushed. Humiliated and defeated, she stumbled back into the crowd. Prince Kofi walked towards ABENA, his eyes filled with admiration and love. He took her hand and knelt before her, speaking for all to hear. "Your dance was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. It spoke of truth and passion. You have shown everyone what it means to have a heart of gold. Will you, ABENA, do me the honor of becoming my wife?" Tears of joy streamed down ABENA's face as she looked from the kind prince to her beaming grandmother. With a voice full of emotion, she accepted. The entire village erupted in cheers, celebrating the girl they had once mocked. ABENA's life was transformed in that moment, not by magic, but by the power of her own resilient spirit, her unwavering kindness, and a love for dance that could not be extinguished. She and Prince Kofi ruled the kingdom with compassion and wisdom. And she never forgot her humble beginnings, ensuring that every person, no matter their background, was treated with dignity and given a chance to let their own light shine. And so, the story of ABENA and the red golden shoe became a timeless legend, a reminder that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in the purity of one's heart.